investigate?
Me.
Ethril?
Me. Moral and perception. Who's knocking? Stop that.
God damn it. So you made your camp next to the river, which you're following to the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ship coming up the river.
Oh, boy.
Boop, boop.
And it's not like any ship you've ever seen yourself, in that it appears to be held out of the water on 4 pontoons. So that the main body of the ship, complete with its sail, is entirely out of the water.
So what's the point?
Because it's floating along on its pontoons.
What are pontoons?
Like a catamaran.
What's that?
What?
That just raises more questions.
I'm not smart, okay? I don't know things. You're just using words. It's floating, but not on the boat bit.
Yeah, like imagine a boat on stilts. That's a good way to think of it.
Yeah, it sounds like buoyancies.
Yeah,
So-
like that's the ship that Isla mentioned.
Okay, so it's one of them weird things.
Yes. Yeah, one of those is coming down the river towards you guys. Like it's not coming towards you as such, but
It's
I
going
mean
down the
they're
river
going
that we're
down
going
river,
past.
and Ethril's the only one awake to spot it.
What?
So,
Do I notice anything odd about it? It's like, what? Apart from the fact that it's a weird ship, do I see any crests or anything?
The weird thing you'd notice is that it doesn't seem to have any of the usual heralds you expect to see on a ship.
So it's not like Pathfinder 1 or...
Yeah, no, it's heading west. That's correct. Like it is traveling down river the same direction you all were.
Put you down for a lift. Nah. I mean, that'd probably be helpful, but...
You could always wake up the rest of the party.
Are you waking
Wake
up?
me up.
Yeah,
Before you
go,
go.
go.
Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. That's a very big yo-yo.
What?
Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. It's a very big yo-yo.
Okay. Or are you a very small person holding on to a regular yo-yo? No, we're not going into that.
By the time the entire camp is up and awake, the ship has actually drawn close enough, and let's move to another map.
Selection of images of Google Earth.
Oh, I wish it was off Google Earth.
Did you say when you sleep you regain a few health points naturally? Is that true?
Yeah, 1 hit point. Your standard hit die's worth of hit points, you get that back.
Get off me.
Fuck yeah, faster than light. I love this game.
Everyone get on the wagon.
So, yeah, the ship pulls up alongside you. You can see that there's what appears to be a massive tent along its rear bow.
You mean the stern?
Words. I don't boat words.
The bow is the front of the ship. The stern is the back.
Yeah. In any case, you can already see several Melele elves coming over to the sidebar.
Oh boy. Hello, friend. How are you doing?
And, yeah, they seem to be bringing the ship to a halt
Hey.
by throwing large cords tied to stones across the side of the ship to drag it into the bay as crude anchors.
Dodge out the way in case we get pelted with them.
No, you won't get pelted.
Okay.
But one of them does shout down to you in the native language that Taylor, you know just enough to understand that he just asked hello. And where are you going?
I know we're going to the temple. I've completely forgotten what it was, though. We've got to go to the jungle.
The Temple of Azane in the jungle.
What should I tell him? Should we tell him that's what we're doing, or should I tell him something else?
Hail and well met, my dudes!
For fuck's sake!
But
Get on the wagon!
yeah, we should tell them that.
So
Yeah,
my
Did
dudes.
you say they were speaking Elvish? Sorry, or like a version of Elvish?
they actually tried speaking to you in Kirinyaga first time round.
Can I try Elvish, since that's the one I know best? I just say, hello, friends, do you speak Elvish?
Okay, so at this point, you suddenly hear laughter, and a familiar face comes to the rail and speaks to you in Druidic. Well, if it isn't Taylor. I'm surprised you made it this far. I see you didn't listen to my warning then, friend, but you seem to have survived it nonetheless.
It's good to see you. How do you fare? You doing good?
Good.
What's up, my homies?
What's up?
Turn the nameplate on so you don't have to struggle over forgetting her name.
Thank you. So many things.
It would seem that you're travelling towards the Orang forests. Am I correct?
Yes,
We're going to the temple of
Azane.
Azane.
Yeah, we're off. Yeah.
Well, a riverboat of this size, a trading ship, is perhaps not much faster than walking, but I suppose it spares your legs if you would like to come aboard.
Let me just discuss that with my companions. What do we think, gang?
What the fuck?
Less bugs, better times.
Allegedly. Hopefully.
Can the wagon go on the boat?
I mean, the boat's pretty big and the wagon's very small. I should imagine it could probably fit on there quite happily. I can
Can
ask.
I fit on the boat, or will it sink? These
Again,
are
the
the
boat
questions
is
I have
pretty
to
big.
ask.
What?
Yeah, but I don't know how buoyancy works. I didn't do physics.
I want to see the catamarans.
Show me the catamaran. Show me the kitten desserts.
So, in answer to Taylor's questions, yes, they're happy for you to bring the wagon on board, but they'll charge you a fee for that.
How much, Amber?
And the ship should support Rowan's weight easily.
What's the fee? How much?
Can I sense motive just in case they try and stab us in our sleep?
I mean, if you want to.
That probably means they're safe.
These are druids, they have no need for physical objects.
Well, in terms of a fee, she said, Jinharwa mostly says, so if this route is sometimes perilous, and we would need you to dedicate yourselves to protecting the ship as highly as you would dedicate your own, as highly as you would protect your own people if we agree to take you on as passengers. And as to how much we would charge to carry your wagon as well, that would very much be down to how much you're carrying.
It's got like the alchemical little setup that Levy has.
So, out of the game then, considering that you know how much we're carrying, Albion, roughly how much are you talking?
So, out of character here, basically, she's charging you based on what you've got. So, Araya, the motive you're sensing is someone who's doing a good deed and is also happy to make a pocket off of it too.
Alright, yeah, fuck it, I'm in.
In essence, you figure that to get this lift, you'd need to scrounge together pretty much the majority of the amber coinage that you guys have on your persons at this point.
That's a hard one from me.
Currently, I have 220 amber pieces.
In that case, if you're willing to part with 200 of those, they'll accept that.
Alright, huddle up.
Hang on.
I mean,
That's a lot.
if needs be, I can just take the wagon and walk on my own.
That'd be crazy.
How much does everyone have altogether in amber pieces?
I have like 0.
None.
No idea anymore because I lost that information.
So does
I have literally none.
So am I the only one who's still carrying?
Spend
Yes.
all mine on it.
Still carrying local currency.
Yeah, I'm still carrying local currency.
I've got 6 amber pieces.
I mean, you could always try and haggle.
Only
Oh, I have 8.
No, keep your money. We'll continue on the path we're going down already. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, we technically don't know what she said, so you could just lie to us all and say, "Oh, they're just saying they're passing through."
But I'm gonna be honest with you with what they're saying. I'm not gonna lie. I've got no reason to. My loyalties lie with you guys, not with these random druids. I'm gonna ask if everybody what everybody wants. Put it to a vote. I'm saying no, but you guys can vote on it.
I mean, as I'm just pointing out, haggling is a valid option.
Yeah,
I feel like if we haggled with her, she'd murder us. I don't trust like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a straight yes no at this point. If we haggle, it's gonna just be bad blood.
What does haggle?
Bear in mind that Araya's sense motive did imply that she is, she's willing to help you, but she's also trying to make a bit of coin on the side.
Do you think I could use diplomacy to get her to completely waive the fee?
I just think that would do more harm than good. But if you want to go that route, I can cast enhanced diplomacy.
That's the cheapest they'd go for. Then I guess the cheapest is 200.
Yeah, I have no real way of earning money.
I mean, as Jim has just pointed out, they have explicitly said that what they will take as money is based entirely on what you have on you, so you could bluff it.
I've only got 50 amber on me.
I mean, it would be getting the boat would be faster, but that's about. I mean,
No, it'd be the same.
Specifically to talk out of game, like in game terms, it cut a day and a half off of travel to take the ship.
Accelerate our way to the jungle.
Oh, my bluff is...
I'm going if it's free. Otherwise, I'm going to keep on foot.
I feel the same way, purely
Okay,
because
yeah, I'm not even going to attempt that, because I'm just going to end up...
Can I diplomats to
Slight
see if I can get them to waive the charges?
You can absolutely try that.
okay, I'm gonna do enhanced diplomacy then. I'm assuming that's an instant cast. That's how I've been doing it so far.
What is that I had then?
So what are you basing the diplomacy on? Like, what is your persuading factor here?
Persuading factor is that we're here to say we know of this horrifying disease and that it's caused such destruction, and we're going to try and fix it because we think it's back. So basically, it would be in the entire continent's best interest if we were to get there unbothered.
Unhindered.
That is an incredibly good case. Roll on based on that.
Yeah, they fucking named the boat after me.
Boy.
So, yeah. With Taylor
I didn't even have to do to that, so hang on. Yeah, there we go.
With Taylor translating, you quickly explain the whole Kawoza situation. And, Jinharwa is entirely like, okay, I'm willing to trust a fellow druid's word on this one. You can come on board.
Just before we go on, I wrap that weird cloth around my stump.
Yeah.
So they can't see it.
I've got some twine. I'll tie it on to hold it together.
So
You got a plaster with a Tasmanian devil on, please.
I got Hello Kitty plasters.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm on them. Got it done for free.
yeah, they're like, okay, you're actually trying to prevent, shit of this scale.
Hey,
Come aboard.
don't move me on so quickly, because once everybody else is on, I lift the wagon up.
The wagon is something you're able to store in the main cargo.
Oh, you should add a hit die as well, Rowan, because you rested. Get that juicy health points.
I don't know how that works. I'm just going to ignore it.
Okay.
I'll take care of it. I know what I'm doing here.
Okay,
There you go.
thank you.
Inside 20 minutes, the ship is back underway again. It's making its way down the river.
Making my way back to you, babe.
And
Sorry.
Jinharwa would like a word with you, Taylor, at the front of the ship.
Mumble grumble. Okay.
Mumble crumble. Okay.
So, fellow druid, your name is Taylor, yes?
Yes. Are we speaking in Druidic?
Yes, you're conversing in Druidic. Tell me truthfully, have we reason to fear the return of the Kawoza? How severe is this?
Speaking honestly, as we're not from this land, it seems to be pretty awful. But I mean, do you know anything about what happened to Oshun?
I am 300 years old. I was alive the first time this was just a child. And I can honestly tell you that the last time this happened, we thought it was the end of the world. It came from the south of the continent.
So
We
it was
don't know
the
what caused it or what brought it, but it spread from the south like a plague until it reached Ashun's holy city of Ashwaz, the Coral City. I wish you could have seen it in its beauty. What Kaharabu is to the glory of the forest, Azashi was the glory of the sea. An entire city built in and from a coral reef. It's gone now, along with its patron goddess.
What is it, the Kawoza? Is it just rot, or is it controlled by something, or what is it?
We never learned. We learned that the illness spreads and that it can be drawn upon. In many ways, it's the way that a priest draws on the magic of their god. Those who choose to take it into themselves can draw on the Kawoza for magic, but ultimately, we don't know what caused it and we don't know what stopped it. Only that the entire southern half of this continent is uninhabited now, after the first time.
We have reason to believe that it's heading to Ozane.
Then it's targeting the rainforests first.
It seems that way.
Have you encountered it before this yourself?
The only time any of us have encountered it so far is with Araya's arm. He has the rot in his arm. Other than that, this is the first I've ever heard of it.
So are you actually... So Ethril's point about the swamp is overheard, isn't it? Jinharwa simply says, so there was a Kawinda. At this point, she does what you can only guess is her culture's equivalent of facepalm, and swears several times in Druidic, which has some very interesting curse words. Eventually, she just shakes her head and says, there are those who are willingly trying to harness its power. Madness.
Yeah, well, that's how his arm got rot, wasn't it? It was from one of the necromancers. We were calling them necromancers. I'm assuming it's something slightly different.
Yeah.
It's as good a word as any. Those who imbibe of the Kawoza's power can control the dead, so a necromancer is a fair enough name.
It was in the bilge swamp water that was surrounding it. That's why it may have been a bit more What's the
To
word?
think that someone would willingly try to bring the Quoza back, I cannot imagine why.
How?
Still, at least you say you killed the Coinda responsible.
He had some acolytes, didn't he? And then they whooped off.
I know you killed the acolytes.
No, because we killed the main boss, and then I think we killed one of the acolytes, and then there was 2 left, and they whooped off.
We fucking did more than just kill him.
Yeah. But no, 2 of the acolytes did get away, you're correct.
Yeah.
Worrisome, but I assume the Coinda can police their own, especially if you told their war leader of them. The most we can do is get you to the border of the rainforest. That's where my people's principal settlement is. If you are unable to take many of your supplies into the forest, it will be far too dense for that wagon of yours, but we're more than happy to let you store it while you proceed into the rainforest. Any supplies we can give you, we will give, and we will send one of our scouts into the rainforest with you to lead you to the Ozane Temple as quickly as it can.
Okay.
So now the conversation winds down. Jinharwa still wants to talk to Taylor a bit and says, you asked of the fates of our goddess, Ocean.
Yeah.
I was raised in her faith in her city. Before everything, my people, the Melele, were her people. Since we lost our home, we've taken to the riverways. There was talk. Ocean was more than just the rest of the gods were. She lived among us. The palace at the heart of the Coral City was her palace. She walked among us, gave us her wisdom and her justice, and she was gone. The rot began to overrun the palace, and there was the great flash of power, the golden light that was her symbol, and then it ceased to spread, and the city died, and we never saw her again. But there is a legend that may yet be the salvation. We have reason to believe that before her death, she was preparing to have a child. It was the greatest news that the city had ever heard, but the rumors were that her labors were beginning even as it began to spread across our walls. Some believe that the child survived, that Oshun was able to save it before her own sacrifice to destroy the Quoza. There are those who believe that if we can find the child, that they will be able to replace their mother and might even be the key to stopping the Quoza if it ever came back, which that part seems to have come true, so maybe the Holy Child exists as well.
Neat.
Well, we can hope then.
Indeed.
Do we know if there's any way of finding this child?
Did my ears start burning?
No.
You are the least holy thing.
Do I get the
I've ever met.
Is it Windsor?
All the deities in this place have 4 arms, so it's not going to be any you lot.
Flail all of your arms.
It would be nice to believe that the legend of Onelele is true, but I don't think we can rely on legends.
No.
What was written on the sleeve?
Yeah, it was.
We're gonna go look for the kid as well.
I showed Jinharwa the scrap of cloth.
Is it wrapped around a rise stump?
Oh, is it?
I've been keeping it safe.
I hold it up gingerly then, because it's probably covered in...
Yeah.
Well, it's a magical infection, so it's not covered in clothing.
No, it's sterile at least at the moment.
Okay, that's good then.
Jinharwa does look at the scrap and say, well, if a priestess gave you this, clearly she believes in Onelele as well. I hope that she's right, because I don't want another one of our gods to die just to save the world. And if it only lasted 100, 250 years, then within 1,000 years we will be out of gods. Maybe we should never go down that path at all.
I'm sorry about Ocean.
Thank you. So, we will get you to the rainforest within the next 3 days. Until then, my ship is yours. Relax as you will. And prepare yourselves for the time ahead.
When we get to the jungle, when we go to visit the temple, you would be welcome to join us as a druid to just to check out, see what's happening, and see if there's anything, if you're able to assist us. We might need your assistance with that if you would be willing.
I am flattered, Taylor, but my position as a leader of my people means that if this news is true, I must stay with my clan and prepare us for the worst. I will send one of my apprentices with you, though, if you wish.
I understand.
So, has anyone got anything else they want to talk to Jinharwa about? Happy to get on with the voyage.
What is the purpose of a daddy longlegs?
I just want to hear from. Ran wants to hear from Cawley about what was said about the deity, because Rowan has an interest in the mythology due to its similarity
Because they all have
with
4
Akiton.
arms.
Yes.
Time to examine the stump on the bard.
It's still a stump.
Has it changed? Is it?
Honestly,
at all?
it seems to almost be in a kind of stasis.
No news is good news.
Since you staunched the wound back in the swamp, nothing has changed.
Everything is the same.
It's been nearly a week and the bruising hasn't faded, but nor has any kind of infection spread.
When I talk about it, I always think it looks like a very black film that has sort of like the texture of jelly.
Ew.
Insofar as the Quoza has a physical form, it is rot. Anything it comes into contact with rots. That's insofar as it has an appearance.
So it doesn't have that quality. Poking.
No, it's not
like
jelly.
It looks like some kind of film, but no, I guess not.
So, Rowan, you get filled in by Taylor, thing that down in the station.
Yay!
Yeah, no problem.
So that's what that's what Melele means.
Yeah, who knew, huh?
That's
we
cool.
We figured that out.
I know we have to continue our mission as normal and not lead too much into the hope, but I do hope that persists, because that would be super helpful.
Yeah, I think it would be really good for all of these people to see that. That would give them some hope, I think.
But as mentioned, let's not put too much on it. Let's not stray from our path in order
Focus
to
on the task at hand.
Exactly.
Exploration.
I imagine that Ethril is now back on my shoulder.
Still sort of just parading around on top of the crow's nest.
That works too.
I'm just playing my accordion to hopefully the amusement and delight of the other people on the ship.
Or at least your own.
It's a bit shit with one hand.
Like a yo-yo.
When we get to do one of these where we're all together, my sister does have a toy accordion, I think still. Let's see what happens.
I could get the MIDI keyboard out. It's a bit of
Yamaha. Hook it against your knee or something.
Okay, so
fishing.
fishing. Ethril's up the crow's nest.
Derping.
Resting. Levi's attempting to doctor.
Just poke it with a stick. See what happens. Poke, poke, poke.
I'm just feeling Jinharwa and what we've been doing so far, and it's just nice to talk to somebody in my native language again.
Oh, she's happy to chat to you.
Beans with his half chewed up top hat.
Oh, that reminds me, Beans has woken up again.
Good.
Oh, precious child.
I feed him some locusts.
He happily chows down.
Let's make sure they don't make him ill.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
don't feed him any. And don't
I mean,
feed
he's
him
an
any.
alchemical homunculus. He's probably got a stomach of iron.
He'll be fine.
Hooray!
He's eaten much, much, much worse.
Sausages.
Wait, we're level 2 now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Huh.
Have you forgotten something?
I may be able to take
Forgotten.
a cleric spell at level 2.
No, it's to do with your spell level table on the Bard page.
Okay, then that's fine.
So, it's going to take another 3 days by boat. The rest of today is going to be pretty uneventful, so unless there's anything anyone particularly wants to do, we can roll on the clock.
No, nothing important.
I play the world's longest solo. It's like the fucking Cliffs of Dover. It's like the end 4/5 of Freebird up on this bitch.
I just sit next to the wagon. On the floor. On my bum.
Watching Livy and Araya, and then there's people doing stuff.
Ethril,
Hi.
are you staying in the crow's nest all day?
Yeah.
Well, for one, you're the first to notice the silhouette on the horizon.
Okay. Roll in perception, see if I can discern anything from it from this distance.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't see jack shit.
I
It's
mean,
just a shape.
not really. You can tell it's like there's a bird up there. That's about it.
It's a bird.
Swan?
Not a swan, but it is getting closer.
I duck.
It's not a duck.
What? Like bird? It's getting closer. I think I'll duck my head.
So, as you keep your eye on the silhouette, roll perception again as it gets closer.
Okay, now I know it's a bit better. This is closer.
It's definitely a bird of prey, but either something's really screwing with your depth perception, or this thing is fucking huge.
I think I'll climb down from the crow's nest. It's big. I don't want my head getting lopped off from up here.
So it's at this point that everyone on the ship hears a scream. A massive, massive sounding bird scream. And
I have a picture for that too, hold on.
Scram!
And
Buddy!
it's around this time that Jinharwa shouts out something in the native language and then shouts it out for Taylor's translation. And what she said is rock.
It's a rock in the shape of a bird?
No, it's a rock.
No, rock is in without a K.
Okay, well, I don't know birds, okay? I just know
Please,
stuff
Rob,
that's
what do you want?
Big bird. I'm a shooter.
Good
It's
You're
not.
but men, rock!
It's not actively threatening the ship as such, but it is circling it, and you can tell it's looking at the deck.
I'm a shooter.
Well, okay.
Prepare, but wait
I was
till
gonna-
it
I was going to prepare to cast Doom, but if we're going fucking straight in...
I was gonna say, like, go into attack position, but don't fire off until it actually exposes itself as being a threat.
Yeah. Can I start like lining up a shot?
Take him.
Bird!
Maybe I should provide you with an exact description of this thing.
It's like colossal.
This very fucking...
Is it a fucking elephant bird?
That's as
Pair of
Jinharwa
elephants.
tells you as it circles.
Yeah, I think we leave it.
Are you kidding me? That's like prime trophy
Shut
game,
up!
that is.
I'd rather not be
Wait,
eaten.
When you say typical rock, do you mean typical for our world or for this world?
Is it a
Because
bird?
elephants-
That is pretty much the dimensions of the rock flying over you right now.
Because elephants are huge in this world, right? We saw them already.
Yes.
Rocks aren't like a real bird, as far as I know.
No.
It-
No, I know
it's a
that.
mythical super
It
bird
looks like a
creature.
fucking
I'm aware of that.
swallow.
a rock from our home.
Okay, I should clarify that Kirinyaga both has the megaphants, which are the ones you've run into, but it also has regular elephants.
Okay.
Has both.
I know that it's fictional.
What are you doing?
I think it's a fantasy.
That's what I thought you meant when you were like from our world. I'm like, do you mean in real life?
They're literal real birds that we actually genuinely
Do
have.
you honestly think
No,
humanity would have survived if those were real?
Confused.
Apparently existed. The rock is vaguely based on the elephant bird. It's
I don't know why
extinct
I'm-
now.
I don't know why, but I'm now thinking of that
But
one
yeah,
back this
suffice to
episode.
say, this big old birdie is currently circling the ship with an eye on it.
Now, would movement attract it, or should we be still?
They can't see you for totally still. Oh wait, no, that's a T-Rex.
Yeah, but birds are like
Oh, T-Rex
the
is...
evolved forms of
Have you
dinosaurs, so
seen
it's
a
still
baby
true.
heron? They look like tiny raptors with fuzz on them.
Slowly moving doors.
I'm just gonna keep my gun trained on it.
I'm gonna get away from the edge of the ship. That's what I'm gonna do.
Despite only firing halfling bullets, I believe in the crits.
So it's at this point that with a scream the rock dives,
Oh,
and it's
shit.
diving at Ethril.
Oh, shit.
You are standing in the middle of the deck in bright blue.
Am I able to cast Doom as I had it prepared, or...?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
What is this doom?
Doom is one living creature for 1 minute gets... Dun, 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 where the fuck is the description? -2 on attack rolls, damage rolls, saves, and checks.
Okay, good to know.
Cast it.
Cawley, are you saying it's time to rip and tear?
It starts playing from my accordion.
Is it half-assedly?
Well, this is its role to grab Ethril.
So, yeah, put -2 on that then.
Yeah, I will.
Where's my AC?
Nat
Oh
20.
God!
Yeah, it's got me.
Going.
I can't dodge that.
In how many languages can we say we're fucked?
At
Collectively.
least 6.
Yeah.
Plus 29.
We are
Yeah.